Well, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning on the West Coast. Good evening for those in Italy. If you are taking a moment to join this live stream, which is being pushed out to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, would you say hello? I wanted to just take a few moments at the end of the week to share with you some new research that I'm doing in preparation for the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference that's coming up in July. I don't know about you. How about a quick poll question? Are you ready to get out to a live conference? Are you ready to shut down the Zoom screen or the live stream that we're doing right now and get out and see your colleagues and peers face to face, share a table for lunch, share a glass of wine? Jeffrey Running says yes. And Jeffrey, don't forget, we still have to plan your Italy trip, and really excited to get that finally planned. And so let's follow up. So Dustin Sutherland says, absolutely. Well, listen, I want to encourage people who are watching. Thank you, Paul, watching from Holland. Today we have a somewhat concerning topic that I want to share some research, because the question is how far should marketing go, especially as more and more people are focusing on privacy and privacy compliance. So let's take a look at some things together. And those of you who are not familiar with me, we just celebrated last year our 15th anniversary. So we're on our 16th year for PCG Digital, the agency I founded. And we have three divisions in our company, and our education division runs two of the best conferences in the automotive industry, the Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit, which will be this November in Palm Beach. If you've been to the AAAS conference or AAAS conference, you can put a little note in there if you loved it. And obviously the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference, which is coming up in July. And then our research division also does the very popular AWA Awards each year. And I just share that because sometimes in context, new people are watching all the time. I've written 9 books to help the automotive industry focus in on marketing and sales process. My latest book is a workbook on digital retailing solutions, and it is absolutely critical that dealers rethink how their automotive retailing strategy is. You know, oftentimes dealers call me up, and I think it's like every week a dealer's calling me up and saying, hey, do you have a solution for this? You have a solution for this? And recently I've been seeing more and more ads from companies offering dealers anonymous tracking of consumers and turning them into leads. Francesco, thank you. The first one is the best one. Thank you, Francisco. I really wanted to talk about this because dealers want to sell more cars, but what if the right product breaks consumer trust? So what I wanted to do is do a little assessment of the current automotive industry from a retail perspective and from a dealer perspective. So let me lay out the case to you. Have you been approached by companies selling you a product that they put some software on your website, and consumers who anonymously visit the website, they will data mine and provide you with their email address and phone number, even their mailing address, so that even though the consumer didn't give you their information, you can get their information and then market to them? Has anybody seen those advertisements? Now, some of the advertisements that I've seen on LinkedIn are making some very, very bold claims, like they can match 90% of the people who come to the website. Others, 70%. They can match 3 out of 4 people that come to your website and never matched, never took a lead form or a phone call or a chat session, and they'll match them back. Now, at first, this seems like a great idea. And to tell you the truth, as a marketing professional, I love it. Okay. My problem is there seems to be, and just this is your decision, not mine. There seems to be more focus on data privacy. And recent changes with Google, recent changes with Apple are all moving away from a cookie system and introducing less trackable down to an individual. So, for example, if you've ever been to Zappos or Macy's or even Amazon, and you looked at products and they followed you with the retargeting banner with those products inside, that's going away. And so dealers are looking for new ways to leverage their own website data. Now, I'm going to introduce at DMSC in July new privacy compliant ways in which you can truly use your website to create better marketing strategies. The question is how creepy, John said he's familiar with this, how creepy do you want to get? And I just want to take a time out. I'm not making a judgment or a legal decision on any of the products, but you can do quick Google searches and find companies that are advertising to companies in automotive and outside of automotive the ability to data mine anonymous shoppers and then reach out to them to try to sell them. And the question is, how would you feel as a consumer if someone did that to you? So you can just, obviously a lot of people here are in the car business. So would you just answer this question? If you were a consumer and you went, let's say, to a realtor's website and you looked at some houses, would you be happy if the realtor called you up and said, hey, by the way, this is Brian, I'm from ABC Realtor. Are you in the market for a house? Now, the person's not going to say, oh, I'm tracking you, but would you feel that's creepy? Would you connect your visit to the website with that phone call? What if you visited that realtor's website and you didn't fill out any form, you looked at some houses, you got an email 15 minutes later saying, hey, I'm Brian Pash, and I'm a local realtor, and if you're in the market for a home, I can do a great job. We have a great, would you connect that email to the website visit like instantaneously? And would that be creepy to you or not? I'd love to get your feedback before I show you some data from a survey that I did. Dustin says, yes, I'd find it a little creepy. Okay. Well, the question is this a risk to your business? Again, the companies that are providing this are saying everything is legal and compliant. My problem is that I've learned that car dealers get a lot of lawsuits. I don't know if you are familiar with this. Scott is saying it's becoming less creepy, but unwanted and annoying. If you work for a dealership, have you been sued? I work with some larger dealer groups, and it's very common that somebody will sue a dealer because maybe the ad covenant wasn't perfect, or there was not a certain disclosure, and you know what? Dealers do pay a lot of money out because there's lawyers who just look for these creepy things. Alex says, creepy is when I pick up a pint of Haagen-Dazs and put it in the grocery store freezer, then to find the ad for Haagen-Dazs in my Facebook stream. Yeah. So let's just talk about it. There's a company called Smart Pixel. And again, I'm just picking companies that I was easily find. And it basically says when a consumer visits your site, Smart Pixel fires and immediately collects 12 elements of information. None of these is PII related. And then it's matched against our identity database. And we can then provide you with the data you need to contact the customer. Stream Companies has Shopper Suite. Identify and market to anonymous households. And basically they're saying is if somebody comes to a stream website or your dealer website, they're going to ask the customer, watch this, if they would share their location. Now you've seen this, Alex, I know you're a student of the industry. Dustin, you're a student. You go to a dealer's website and it asks, would you share your location with the dealer? Now, listen to what Stream is saying. If they agree to share the location, they will be able to map it back to their home address and email address. Now, personally, when someone says, do you want to share your location? As a consumer, would you agree with me that they are not understanding that by saying where the location is, that someone's going to be reverse tracking their email address or their home address? But think about it. You've seen it. You go on a dealer's website. Do you want to share your location? I would say, yeah, maybe they want to know where I'm coming from. I don't remember any time in my brain saying, well, if I say yes to location tracking, they're going to know my phone number, email address, and home phone or home address. Claritas is a company outside of automotive, again, talking about this idea of getting more people. Even the Potratz agency, Paul Potratz, came out some time ago with their P2 Pixel, which is actually a white label product from what I understand. Alex said, I'd love to know what percentage of dealership website visitors allow the location tracking. Alex, I think, I'm just saying, I think a lot of people say yes to it. I see it a lot on auto dealers' websites. It's becoming more and more common. But if you asked me if that meant that gave the dealership permission to reverse connect me, I think that is somewhat misleading. That's just my opinion. When you listen to the video transcript on this Vimeo from Paul Potratz, he talks about, hey, by just having an individual visit your website, we capture their first name, last name, mailing address, and a lot more information. And he shows that some of, in this video, shows all the data. Now, the question is that creepy or not? And as we approach the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference, we're going to be talking about new technologies, new strategies. Alex Snyder's here, what Frickin' Tech is doing to totally transform the retail shopping experience. We're going to have breakthroughs. The whole conference is about breakthroughs in technology. But as part of our company goal with our conferences, we want to bring first to market data to dealers. So at the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference, I'm going to be doing some breakthrough studies, first to market with data. And I just wanted to show you in this idea of where's consumers' mindset in the idea of privacy and tracking. So I did a SurveyMonkey survey, and so far we have 355 people responding to the survey. Okay, I'm assuming everyone can see these graphs. If someone would just, I know we're on a slight delay. If someone can say, yes, I can see the graphs, that would just make me happy. Sometimes live streaming controls get a little funky. But what I just asked, when was the last time somebody visited a car dealer website? 18% in the last week, 21% more than a week ago, but under a month. And then, 59% said it was over a month ago. Okay. Then I asked them the question, when you visited the dealer's website, did you read the privacy disclosure page? Now, personally, I never read the privacy disclosure page on a dealer's website when I shop, nor do I look at the privacy policy page on any website. I don't know about you. Give me some feedback. When you visit a new website for the first time, a realtor's website, a vacation home website, a bank website, do you read the privacy policy? Would someone give me a little feedback on that, I would love for you to tell me. But basically 63% said no, they don't read. Another 20% says, I don't recall, but I normally never read the policy. I'm going to really think of this as about 80% of the consumers that we surveyed said that they don't read the privacy disclosure page. Now, some of the companies who sell this technology advise the dealers to update their privacy policy page because of, the tracking and for legal compliance. The question is will that stand up in a court when we know that car dealers are getting sued all the time for little things, especially if lawyers are. So Terry says, no, if I'm familiar with a website or company. Okay, that's fair. All right. I just want to make sure everyone can see these charts too. So Terry, if you would. Now, I asked another question. If you visit a car dealer website during normal business hours and you had a question about a vehicle listed for sale, what would be your most likely way of contacting the dealer? 35% said they would call, 20% email, 22% said they would chat. Interesting enough, 13% said they would visit the dealer if they were close, okay? But obviously calling, and this is very important, calling was their number one, and then chatting or messaging was number two. Now, this is specific. I introduced the concept to the survey folks that what if a dealer was able to get your information without you filling out a form? And then here's the question. How do you feel about the dealer's decision to obtain your personal contact information from what you thought was an anonymous visit? 40, let's call it 46, strongly disapproved, 23%, 24% disapproved. If you add them up, that's about 80%. Let me see, 60, 70%, excuse me. 70% either disapproved or strongly disapproved. 15% said, yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Just like I think somebody mentioned that Scott said it's becoming more common. But the question is, if 70% of consumers disapproved of that practice, give me some feedback for those who are watching. Should you install the software? If 3 out of 4 people who visited your website would not approve of you of reverse obtaining it, would you as a dealer put your brand at risk? Would you do business with this dealer after you learned about it? Now, a third said they wouldn't, definitely wouldn't, and 38% said they probably would not. Obviously, some people said, hey, it makes no difference to me. If they had my product, 4% said definitely would, 23 probably would, okay? These are the statistics from our survey so far. Now, I asked a different question. What if the dealer explained that everything you're doing was legal, which you heard from Paul Potratz in the little excerpt, and you would hear from all the other websites. And if you told the consumer, well, listen, we're doing this to give you better customer service so we can reach out to you and help you and be proactive, would it change your mind? And you'll again see here, definitely wouldn't. A third said, no, I don't like it. Wouldn't change my mind. 35% probably would not. Okay. So again, would you do business with the dealer? If you're looking at these results, the question is, when is technology, when is tracking no longer a positive benefit to your business? And then this was an interesting question. If you received an email or postcard from the dealer, which many of these companies do not recommend calling the customers, they do recommend emailing or sending a postal card mail. Within 3 or 4 days of the website visit, because they have to put it in the mail, and it normally takes a couple of days. Would you connect the outreach with your anonymous visit? And this is interesting. And maybe this is why dealers are doing it. Only 55%, about half, said, yeah, if I got a postcard after I went to, ABC Ford 3 days later, I would absolutely think 55% said absolutely think. Rob's saying, ethically, this is terrible. Legality aside, it's bad for business. It's bad for the world. I'd rather lose a few opportunities than to do business this way. With my management hat on, I fear the people I'm managing having the right skills to execute this 100% of the time. Right. Exactly. This is, Alex, this is why some of these companies originally offered phone numbers. And of course, you imagine what an internet sales manager or an internet sales department would do with those phone numbers. And that's why the emails and the postcards are more. But again, what's interesting, a little over half said they would connect it. So who were the people in this survey? I just wanted to show you that I chose, I purchased some survey respondents based on SurveyMonkey's ability to do volunteers, and then through my network, this age group from all over the country, household income, pretty wide range, and male, female. This data set is slightly skewed to a little bit more female. So what am I sharing? There are many things that dealers have choices for on how to market. And the question is are some of the things a little too creepy or not? That's why Alex, we'd love to definitely talk about this on Refresh Friday, because there's a number of companies in the automotive ecosystem that are offering this. There are some amazing breakthrough technologies that are going to be displayed at DMSC. New ad tech, new compliant ways of targeting, and ways to pivot. The question is are some things a little too creepy or not? Is this a platform that you can get behind or not? And dealers have many choices on where to market, how to market, and how to protect their data. I'm just going to tell you that using the dealership's website and its data is more important than ever. This just may not be one of the choices that dealers choose to embrace because of the negative feedback. Data-driven marketing is absolutely important, more important than ever. Developing your own first-party marketing data is more important than ever. And I'm even going to say that I saw something, I think it was on Facebook or LinkedIn. Somebody showed logos from like Google and Microsoft and Facebook and Cars.com and Car Gurus and Auto Trader. And they said, hey, if you had to cut one source, which one would you cut? And this guy, I don't know who he was. He said, well, if I had to cut one, I would cut the third-party classifieds. And listen to the logic. By the way, I believe the logic is not founded on data. Here's the logic. Well, instead of paying for a third party, 60% of the traffic to third-party classifieds are from search, which of course is not a true statement, but that's what they believe. And if a dealer paid with pay-per-click, why wouldn't they get all that traffic directly to them? Why pay third parties? This is an oversimplification. And this is why I'm doing another research project with all the call tracking companies and the largest managers of pay-per-click advertising for Google. It's a common misconception that it's easy to replicate, say, the traffic that goes to Cars.com or Auto Trader. It's a joke when people say, well, I'm just going to pay with Google. The people who say that don't listen to the outcomes or track the outcomes for their pay-per-click. And if you don't have data-driven marketing, and if you're not looking at the call outcomes, you're going to make silly mistakes and say, hey, I don't need Cars.com. I don't need Car Gurus. I'll just do all my marketing myself. Well, when you look at the data, I would even say that Cars.com and the third-party portals in a new privacy-compliant world have more value and more opportunity to give dealers outstanding value than ever before. That's a conversation for the conference. But when I look at Google Analytics, it's a joke that 9 out of 10 dealers who believe that they can Google their way out of needing anybody else to do their business have Google Analytics improperly set up or not even set up properly to see what their marketing outcomes are. Now, let's just look at this quick loop for a moment. Different companies say, I have the smartest technology and backend, so whether it was back in the day Haystack, or whether it's Foundation Direct, or whether it's Stream Companies, or whether it's Synchro, people say like, we got this amazing bidding automation system, blah, 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 blah. And it sounds great, except when the setup sucks. What do I mean by that? Today, dealers are actually going backwards because their ad agencies are tracking the website lead forms. And when the dealer puts in a digital retailing platform like AutoFi or another platform like, Car Now, Buy Now, they're not going in and making sure that the conversion goals for those tools are set up to import into Google. Hey, a dealer changes their chat platform from, CarChat24 to Gabagoo. The agency's not making sure the Gabagoo goals are set up and importing them. So guess what? All the marketing automation in the world means nothing to me if the agency selling that technology don't know how to inspect the dealer's website, tag a website, and make sure all the conversion points are being tracked. Secondly, dealers don't know this, but many agencies are following blindly Google's playbook, and they're not looking at the outcomes. And what I'm going to talk about at DMSC is a study over thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls and millions of dollars of pay-per-click. Are dealers really missing the point? Car dealers are like, I don't need call tracking or call recording. It's expensive. I'm like, what's expensive? Spending $10, $15, $20, $25, $30,000 a month on pay-per-click advertising and not listening to the phone calls that come. Because unless you have all the conversion signals set up from digital retailing, chat, your trade-in tools, your finance application, if you're not listening to those outcomes, this whole cycle of, man, I'm using smart bidding engine is a foolish belief system. And that's why I'm going to show dealers at DMSC, regardless of the size of the dealership, they're going to save significant money in their Google ad spend because the majority of dealers who are spending money on Google are doing it through their variable ops or sales budget, not service. Here's what we're going to basically outline at DMSC from this big data research. These are just estimates because the actual data is all being finalized. But as a rough estimate, 95% of all the spend that Google gets from dealers are from sales campaigns. 95%, meaning it comes out of the variable ops budget. The new car managers and the used car managers are leaning on Google to generate more sales opportunities. About 5% is for service. The number one way in which people convert today from Google advertising, the number one way that identifies the person, not without the creepy pixel stuff, is the phone. When you listen to the phone calls, though, less than 20% of those phone calls are for the budget campaign strategies that the dealer thought. The majority of the phone calls, and I've seen it as high as 85%, are for service and parts. Look at that for a minute. When dealers tell me I can't afford phone tracking, I laugh. I'm like, the data shows me that your Google ad strategy has unintended consequences. You're trying to get more people to contact you or visit your website to look at cars, and the majority of the conversions are for service, for phones. How about this? Have you looked at this national stat? Somewhere between 60 and 65% of all people who click on a Google ad that go to an SRP, a search results page, never look at another page on the website. Now, dealers say, well, why? Well, what if I'm telling you that they just clicked on your ad because they're doing something other than shop for a car? Now, with the latest changes in Google privacy, marketing in a cookieless world, hey, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Your cost per acquisition even higher. Don't you think it's time we came up with some smarter strategies? So I really want to educate dealers this July in the Napa Valley at the 12th annual DMSC Conference. We're going to talk about data privacy rules. We have a panel discussion, marketing in a cookieless world. We got some experts to talk about that. The new research that I'm going to be unveiling with new strategies, which will be how to optimize your Google campaigns to get more sales outcomes, sales opportunities, and some new ways to leverage your own first-party website data. We're going to have a number of workshops on Facebook advertising. We have some breakthroughs going on there. Interestingly enough, the agencies who've been using different strategies for Facebook will be less impacted than those who have been using these typical Facebook in-market audiences. You'll see about that. So we're going to really reimagine what Facebook advertising is going to look like. We're going to be talking about digital marketing strategies overlaying with supporting and increasing engagement with digital retailing. Video is going to be a big thing. With the privacy changes, with some of the targeting options being taken away, an omni-channel video branding message is going to have even more importance in 2021. This is going to give new momentum to both the cable companies and the OTT companies to come up with better packages for dealers, because some of the changes and limitations about targeting consumers with these previously popular cookie-based technologies. And also in a cookieless world, it's going to mean the ad tech companies who are using more API direct connections and connecting individual visits in different ways other than using cookies will have a traditional head start over other platforms. So we're going to be talking about the smartest ad tech platforms that can help dealers deal with some of these privacy changes. And then obviously one of my favorite is talking about website designs and what can we do to really simplify and make a better consumer experience. It's still amazing that dealers are fighting with me on this idea of simplifying their website. So the DMSC conference is July 11th, 12th, 13th. I'm recommending that people fly in on the 10th, because on the 11th, before the conference starts, we're going to be doing 5 certification courses, one on Google Analytics and measurement, one on paid search, one on social media marketing, one on digital retailing, and Paul Daly is going to be doing one on creating a brand and brand powering your dealership. These are 4-hour certification courses for dealership managers. And then half a day on Sunday, all day Monday and Tuesday. You would fly home on Wednesday the 14th. That's the strategy. So I want to encourage everyone who is watching this video either live or delayed that, listen, there are many choices out there that dealers have to make. This one survey on this one type of technology, which is being sold by many companies, white labeled by many agencies, it's just a question of, is this what you want to do with your brand if basically 2/3 of consumers are very much against that type of data collection, even though it may be legal? The question is the juice worth the squeeze? And then what about really eliminating waste in your Google ad spend? Man, I'm going to be showing you some breakthrough, actually some simple things that I don't hear anybody talking about that I stumbled over that really are making a difference of increasing sales opportunities for dealers. We're going to be unveiling that at DMSC in July. California has announced that on June 15th, they're releasing the COVID lockup restrictions for the state of California. So we're going to have the Freedom safely, obviously meeting at the Napa Valley Marriott. We have room blocks. all set, but you need to get your tickets now. You need to lock in your rooms now. Air flights are still very affordable into SFO, or some of you may even fly into Sacramento if you don't want to deal with the San Fran, traffic. But we have a great conference set up for you, and I'll have the final data from this consumer survey on what some consumers think is creepy tech. We're going to be talking about this huge data study on Google ad spend and outcomes. What are the outcomes that dealers are getting from their Google ad spend? And of course, a huge expose that most digital marketing agencies do not have the competency. Listen to me. Do not have the competency to set up goals in Google Analytics and import them into Google Ads because they have not trained their setup teams to recognize different chat providers, different DR tools, how to use Google Tag Manager. And this is a sad thing for dealers. As they're moving through digital retailing, they're actually losing ad efficiency because their ad tech platforms are pointing the fingers. Well, the dealer never told me they installed digital retailing. That's why we never set up the goals. Well, whose responsibility is it? Well, if you're the agency and you are saying to a dealer, I'm going to smartly invest your digital advertising, don't you think that a periodic inspection of the dealer's website makes sense? Don't you think setting up alerts in Google Analytics when goals go to 0 is a smart thing, indicating something changed on the website? But we're going to address this straight on at Dmsc and just basically call it like it is. Today's digital marketing automation companies are falling flat in their ability to set up conversion goals properly. And the digital marketing changes and restrictions that are coming from a cookieless world are significant and need to be understood. And dealers need to be thinking about how to use their own first-party data to better target. Dealers need to realize that call recording is no longer an optional thing, but a mandatory thing to inspect the outcomes from their digital marketing. There's so many great conversations we're going to have. The sponsors are outstanding companies that are innovating. We're going to talk honestly, hold everyone accountable to moving our industry forward. And it's all happening at the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference in July. So I hope you will go to digitalmarketingstrategies.org, digitalmarketingstrategies.org, sign up. Let me even, let me go to the website here and let me just put that link in. That's where you can sign up and get your tickets for digital marketing. Give me some feedback. Was this topic helpful? Was it an eye-opening opportunity? Do you think this is a worthy conversation to have with dealers about how we respect the privacy of shoppers and how do we do a better job of serving them? Obviously, we're going to be talking more about conversational commerce and serving consumers when you're on their website instead of chasing them. I mean, dealers literally could close to double their sales opportunities per month if they really removed during normal business hours website forms and changed their mode of operation into having conversations and messaging sessions that can pick up where the consumer left off regardless of when they come back. These are important things. Thank you for the positive encouragement. Get permission to attend this breakthrough conference. Every sponsor, every speaker has been told one thing. We need to talk about breakthroughs, not old stuff, not 101 stuff, not basics, but where are the breakthroughs that dealers can leverage for 2021 and 2022? And at the end of the day, everyone will have enough actionable insights to really make a difference when they get back to their dealership and apply these wonderful, wonderful technologies. So that's all for today. Have a great weekend. I'll update you, obviously, as we move closer to DMSC about some of the great keynotes and workshops. But if you go to the website, you're already going to see a lot of information. And over the next week or so, we'll finalize the complete schedule because we still have some people confirming their sponsorship and speaking slots. So have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share this video with your friends. Remember, it will be on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter. It will be on LinkedIn and Facebook. So please share it with with your 20 groups, with other folks that you know would benefit from these insights so they make the right choices for their digital marketing strategy. See you soon.